Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second Ticket City Sports Desk podcast featuring JP Riley and Sweet Lou from the Ticket City headquarters in Austin, Texas. And we're here today with podcast number 2. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to say hello to James, and then we'll just get started analyzing the NFC
teams. Yeah. Preview for 2020. Yeah.
Division. No, NFC conference.
Yeah, there you go.
The NFC conference. So, James, hello. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How about yourself? I'm excited to discuss the NFC here and lots of interesting things. NFC South is definitely one I'm interested to talk about for obvious reasons, but it's we got a lot of stuff to talk about today in the show, so it'll be fun.
Right, and I'm really excited to get started, and I just can't wait to hear your who's on the coach's hot seat preseason predictions. But let's get rolling, James. We'll start with the NFC North. And I have the Packers taking this division with a 12-4 record. I think Aaron Rodgers is just going to light it up. I believe they got a receiver from Indy, Devin Funchess. Hopefully he's not injured, and he should help out the receiving core. I got the Vikings coming in second at 9-7. Don't have a real lot of excitement for those guys this year. The Bears at 8-8, and the Lions limping in the cellar at 4-12. What do you what stands out for you in the NFC North, JP?
I think the biggest concern is going to be the Packers because I do see them winning the division wholeheartedly, but the thing about over the offseason is going to be with Aaron Rodgers, and because they did draft another QB in the draft very late, and the biggest knock that they've been getting is that they're not getting help for Aaron Rodgers. So potentially, I don't know what Aaron Rodgers' contract looks like, and they considered him to lock him up for a while, but this could be another Brett Favre situation going into his last year in Green Bay, where he could, end up getting traded by Green Bay just to start fresh. I think the biggest knock on him is that, they always talked about, who was the GOAT. I mean, like that was always the biggest, thing was Aaron Rodgers. And, I think Tom Brady definitely is the GOAT. But at the same time, like Aaron Rodgers has only won one Super Bowl within the span of, this was 10 years ago, the last time that he won. And I just don't, I don't see. He is a great quarterback, but at the same time, I feel like he should have more rings on his fingers. So I don't know. We'll have to see what's going to end up happening with him this year. I think it's a make or break year for the Packers and for Aaron Rodgers himself. But yeah, sorry, that was a long-winded response on just one team. But I agree with you. I don't see. Maybe the Bears getting a decent quarterback. I'm not saying great quarterback with Nick Foles. I do see them maybe going into second place, being 9-7, and I would say that the Lions are going to be 4-12. I don't see the Vikings doing too much. I mean, potentially it's going to be a toss up between 3 or 4 between those guys. I just don't see it going any better than that.
Yeah, that's about right on with me. And just one last thing. I am not a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I think he's a great quarterback. However, I think he's got a little bit of an attitude, and hopefully he can overcome that this year and, in this weak division and they do well. But, he won one Super Bowl, but he should definitely be, moving into the championship game a lot more than he really has in the last few years. But that being said, let's jump out to the West, which, man, what a tough division there. I really am rooting for the Cardinals. I like Kyle Murray. They got Cliff Kingsbury as coach and Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins. So I had them initially winning the division at 10-6, but then when I went down and looked at the Seahawks schedule, they came out 11-5. So I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks winning the division. Russell Wilson, it's his 9th year. Them 11-5, the Cards 10-6, and I had the 49ers going 9-7. Just really don't know what to think about them, and the Rams 7-9. Goff and McVay, they were great out of the gate, but they've lost a few steps in recent years, losing Gurley, and we'll just have to see what happens. What do you think about the West?
I think this is a very interesting division now. I think that the Super Bowl hangover, I think, is going to be hanging over the 49ers big time this year. They had their chances to win that game last year, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a big thing, especially this year. There was talk, there was some rumors that they were trying to get TB12 out in his hometown in San Francisco, and potential sign and trade deal for Jimmy Garoppolo back in New England. I mean, that never ended up happening, but at the same time, it seems like those talks did happen. So to me, that shows that they don't have confidence in the guy. And I still have the 49ers winning that division, but it's going to be neck and neck between them and Seattle. This is my prediction. I think that the Cardinals will have a pretty decent record. I wouldn't say it's a winning record, maybe 8-8. I'm going to put the Rams at the doormat down there because I think the Heat's going to be on little Sean McVay, because again, they're 2 years now, they're coming off that Super Bowl hangover where again they could have won that game and they didn't. So
Yeah.
That's just my, like I said, that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I still don't have a lot of confidence in Goff either, and that's just how I feel.
Hey, well, yeah, that's your opinion, and we value it, and that's why you are the one of the founders of the Ticket City Sports Dev podcast. All right, so now we got the West out of the way, and we have two great divisions left with exciting things happening, and we're going to jump to the South, where, of course, everybody knows Tom Brady goes to the Buccaneers, and since this is only our second podcast and you don't know me that well out there in podcast land, but I have a bromance with Brady. I have a Tom Brady candle. I have season tickets to the Patriots. I'm a big, big, big Brady fan. He's in my top 5 up there with Bruce Springsteen and Bob Schneider, Chuck Prophet, and I can't remember the other one, Mick Jagger maybe. But anyways, that being said, I just don't think they have enough experience and talent to overcome the Saints with our Austin, Texas, Drew Brees quarterback. I have the Saints winning the division with 12-4 record. And interestingly, I noticed the Saints only had 4 draft picks this year, but I don't think that's going to matter. I have the Bucks with Brady going 10-6 in second place. I think adding Gronkowski down there with Tom is just going to really help them out, and help them carry this team up to 10 wins. After the Bucks, I have the Falcons at 9-7. I think they're about an average team. If they can win the close ones, they'll end up at 9-7. And then I have the Panthers at 6-10 in the bottom. They got their new coach Matt Rule, which comes from Waco, right up the street in Baylor. He was 11-1 in his last season, and then lost to Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, and then lost to Georgia. But he's going in with the Panthers. I think they drafted all defense, so their defense should be a lot better if some of these rookies can get in. I think they have 4 defensive backs and 3 linebackers. So their defense should improve. I just don't think they have the firepower to really overtake the Bucks or the Saints or the Falcons for that matter. What do you think, JP?
I mean, those are very good observations. A lot of people noticed a little bit of a change with the Falcons towards the end of the season last year. I'm still not sold on that team, and I think that Quinn could be on the hot seat this year if they do not make the playoffs. Um, but I still, and I don't think they will. I think they will be in the third place in this division. It's going to come down to Tampa Bay and New Orleans. I can tell you that Tom Brady has said that it's not about who the coach was, or if it was me or the coach. That's a bunch of BS. He's definitely got something to prove out there, and I think he's trying to get out of the mold of Belichick. And I think he's trying to prove he can do it on his own without the head coach. I also think that having Bruce, which is a completely different coach than Bill, is definitely going to be a big factor. And I mean, as you can see already, they're already practicing with Gronk and all that, and they're having fun in Tampa Bay. But I mean, the one good thing that's coming from this is that Drew Brees is going to play Tom Brady twice in a season. Depends on how long he's going to be there for, which I'm really looking forward to just as a football fan, because it didn't really happen too often. I mean, there was once every 4 years when they would play, and those games were pretty good or pretty lopsided. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to turn out with them. But I do see Tampa winning this division.
Wow, really?
I do see Tampa winning this division because I'm not really sold on the Saints either. I mean, the Saints could have a great season, but then again, it will come to the playoffs. They're not going to do much. So I mean, that's just
Right. And the crazy thing is, the Saints have Jameis Winston as one of their backups. Isn't that nuts?
It is nuts. I mean, and who knows? Basically just he just stayed in the division. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see him as a successor to Teddy Bridgewater, because I couldn't. To me, like, that is one of the best was one of the best backups in the league, and a former starter that just had a freak accident and basically became a backup QB. But who knows? I mean, supposedly he got that LASIK surgery, which is going to fix his eyes, and maybe he'll throw more completions and more touchdowns than interceptions. But
well, okay. Before we go any further, you got Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Winning the NFC South with the Bucks. What's your one loss for the Buccaneers and then the Saints before you go any further?
What's the one loss that they're gonna
loss? Yeah, how many wins for the Bucks?
I think the Bucks will go. I think either 12. They'll go 12-4, and I think the Saints will go 10-6. I really do.
I have the same thing, but reversed.
Did you? But I just don't see them going there. And then, like, with Carolina, it could be another 6-10 season. Atlanta, it could be 7-9. I mean, I think that Carolina will be the doormat, but then the Falcons will be number 3 with probably 7-9 record.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're moving into our own state of Texas and the NFC East. So why don't you go first with your picks on the NFC East, and then I'll shut it down at the end.
I don't see anybody else besides the Cowboys winning this division. I do think this is going to be one of the worst divisions in the NFL, just because there's not a lot of talent. I mean, there is a lot of talent, but I think there's a lot of wasted talent in these teams. Honestly, I could see the Cowboys winning this division with a 9-7 record. Sorry.
Well, that's what happened last year with Philly, right?
Yeah. But like, at the same time, I think, potentially Philly could be good. But who knows? I mean, they could go 6-10. That they're so inconsistent. And with the Giants, with their sophomore quarterback, I don't see them having a great record either. And then the Redskins. This is my prediction. I think the Giants will actually be in last place in the NFC East, and or Redskins for now, their team name. It could be the Washington Warriors. That's what I was hearing too as well. But I could see them being in third place with a 9. Well, maybe not 9-7, but probably a 7-9 record. And then I wouldn't be surprised the Giants go 3-10. I mean, 3-13. That's my guess.
Wow, that's interesting there. Washington is Dwayne Haskins, maybe their quarterback.
Yeah.
And the Giants, I had Washington at 2-14. I just had them down in the dumps. I think their organization is really weak. They're really struggling, a lot of distractions. And in New York, I had third place at 6-10. And interestingly, Daniel Jones is going to have to improve, and they're going to have to protect him. If he goes down, their backup quarterback is Colt McCoy now.
That's
which
right.
I thought that was really interesting. He went, he was with Washington a while, anyway. But I have winning the division, and I'm with you. I think it could be a 9-7 winner, but I'm going to say the new coach for the Cowboys is worth 2 extra wins. So I have the Cowboys winning the East at 11-5, and that's not good enough to host a home playoff game and get a bye. But it's good enough to host a home playoff game, but it's a wild card. Then I have Philly at 9-7. I'm just not sure if Carson Wentz is the real deal. He had that great first season, they got injured, and I just really don't think he can bring it up to 10 or 11 wins this year.
I agree with you. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of inconsistency. I think it's going to be a make or break year for Dak Prescott too, because he knows, because they put the franchise tag on him, that he's going to have to perform in order to get that massive contract. And we talked about this yesterday with the Mahomes huge contract that he just got. I didn't hesitate when I saw the numbers. I was like, well, I'm not surprised by that, because he's been putting up good numbers for a while. Dak's only won 1 playoff game, and he's been in the league for 3 years now, something like that.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, and he's putting up okay numbers, and he's asking for ridiculous amounts of money. I don't know if it's justified. I mean, at that point, it's kind of one of those things where that's like any other job. You got to perform in order to get the money, and he hasn't been doing it. So
right, and hopefully, the new coach will get him to play at a higher level, give him more opportunities to succeed. Mm-hmm. I think Jason Garrett was just, too conservative and predictable. And wow, maybe that is why you picked the Giants to finish last, because he is going up there to be their OC. So,
I forgot about that.
Good call. And hey, everybody, thanks for listening. And, tune in next for our 3rd podcast, where we'll be breaking down the NBA.
Sounds awesome. It's going to be an interesting. The way that they set that structure up is definitely very fan friendly, and I think a lot of people are going to like it. It's going to make the NBA a little bit more interesting now, and I think a lot of people are going to tune in.
Right. Hopefully, they'll get this thing, get the bubble, get it all locked down and tight and ready to go as scheduled.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. Well, it was a pleasure, and tune in next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Running through my head, used to cry like a baby and thought of being alone. Would face my fears, see my tears. There's a way I could have known. Oh, why did I need you? I should have seen right through you. Down the nights grow long, days get colder. Another dollar short and another day older. Getting tired of living in space.